The Grand Assembly Hall of the Galactic Council was alive with noise and arrogance. Leaders from every powerful empire had gathered for the Fleet Review, an event where species displayed their warships as a sign of power. The chamber was surrounded by giant view screens showing vessels in orbit above the Council world. Great ships drifted across the Black Sea of Stars, towering dreadnoughts with glowing cores, cruisers covered in heavy armor, carriers bristling with fighters. Each empire cheered as their ships appeared, boasting of strength, size, and domination. Then, the humans arrived. Their ship appeared small, fragile, and old compared to the massive fleets already on display. It was long and thin, its hull painted dark gray, its engines glowing faintly with outdated design. No grand cannons jutted from its sides, no shimmering shield bubbles wrapped around it. To the eyes of the alien empires, it looked more like a transport vessel than a warship. The hall erupted in laughter. Delegates of the Kreth Empire, scaled and tall, hissed mockingly. Is this what the humans call a ship of war? A fragile toy? The insectoid Varric clattered their mandibles in amusement. It looks like it will break apart if we sneeze in its direction. Even the Solari, proud and elegant beings of light, allowed themselves to laugh. Do they hope to scare us with this relic? The humans sat quietly at their table, their faces calm, unreadable. They did not respond to the jeers, nor rise to the insults. Their captain, a stern man named Unveils, simply folded his hands on the table and stared at the great screen where his ship floated alone among titans. To the aliens, this silence was weakness. To the humans, it was patience. The council elder, an ancient being with skin like stone, raised his staff for silence. Every species is free to display its fleet, he said. His glowing eyes scanned the hall. Mockery serves no purpose. But his voice carried no real authority. The laughter had already poisoned the air. Whispers filled the chamber. Humans are still young. Their ships are nothing compared to ours. They should remain on their little blue world and not dream of war. The human captain finally spoke, his voice low but steady. Our ship is not for show. It is not built to impress the eye, it is built to protect. The aliens laughed louder at his words. Protect? How could such a weak ship protect anything? Even the council elder shook his head in sorrow. He remembered the warnings he had spoken in the past. Do not provoke humanity. But the younger races had ignored him, and now they mocked without restraint. To make the humiliation worse, the Kreth delegate stood. His scaled body gleamed under the lights. If this is truly a warship, he sneered, let us scan it. Let us show the galaxy what hides beneath this thin shell of metal. The crowd roared with approval. Yes, scan the human ship. Let us see its weakness. The humans did not resist. Captain Vale gave a single nod. Do as you wish. Alien technicians activated their instruments. Beams of data streamed across the screens as the strange human ship was scanned from bow to stern. At first, nothing unusual appeared. Low power, signatures, minimal weapon mounts, shield strength far below average. The aliens cheered and clapped, convinced the scan had confirmed their laughter. Pathetic, cried the Varric. Not even fit for a training vessel. But then something changed. The scanners began to overload. Systems reported strange readings, energy spikes that made no sense. Heat maps shifted wildly. A single line of data repeated again and again. Access denied. Technicians tried to adjust, but their machines began shutting down. Sparks flew from consoles. Entire systems collapsed under waves of encrypted signals coming directly from the human ship. The laughter faltered. What is happening? Hissed the Kreth commander. Why are our scans failing? On the screens, new data appeared. But it was not data about the human ship. It was data about their ships. Fleet layouts, weapon frequencies, shield weaknesses, all being broadcast back into the hall as if the human vessel itself were scanning them. Panic spread through the chamber. Delegates shouted at their technicians to shut down the link. Some tore headsets from their aides. The mighty empires that moments ago mocked the humans now sat in fear as their secrets were exposed. Through it all, Captain Vale sat silently, his expression unchanged. Finally, one of the Solari, pale and glowing, whispered what none wanted to admit. "That ship, it is not weak, it is hiding something." The council elder leaned heavily on his staff. His stone-like face was grim. "I warned you," he said softly. "Humanity does not show its teeth until it must bite." The chamber, once filled with laughter, now fell into silence so deep it echoed. Every eye turned to the small dark ship floating on the screen. No one laughed now. And in that silence, one thought spread through every mind in the hall. If this was what the humans revealed when mocked, what were they still hiding? The silence inside the Grand Assembly Hall did not last long. Once the scanners collapsed and alien fleets found their secrets exposed, many tried to dismiss it as a trick. Pride is a heavy chain, and no empire wanted to admit fear of a single human ship. The Kreth delegate slammed his clawed hand against the table. "It is sabotage. Humans have hacked the system to make us look weak." His voice echoed with anger, but even his own aides looked uneasy. The Varick swarm leader hissed in agreement, yet their faceted eyes betrayed unease. Even the Solari, usually calm and composed, whispered among themselves. Their golden skin flickered with nervous light. Captain Auric Vale did not move. His expression remained calm, his voice steady. "You wanted to scan our vessel. You saw what it allowed you to see. That only made them angrier." The Kreth commander stood, his scaled tail whipping against the marble floor. "Then we demand a deeper scan. We will not be mocked by Earth's tricks." Gasps rose in the hall. To demand a deeper scan was not tradition, it was provocation. Yet the other empires quickly agreed. "Yes!" the Varick hissed, their mandibles clattering. "Strip the human ship bare. Let us see what lies beneath the false signals." The council elder raised his staff, his voice weary. "I advise against this. Humanity hides its strength for a reason. Leave the test where it stands." But no one listened. And so, the deeper scan began. This time, the alien empires combined their systems. Dozens of powerful scanners locked onto the human vessel, at once beams of energy slicing across space. The chamber's screens lit with endless streams of data. At first, it confirmed their arrogance, a weak hull composition, engines that looked outdated, weapon mounts smaller than the average patrol craft. The aliens began to relax again. "See?" the Kreth shouted. "It is nothing more than a disguise. Old technology. They fear us." But then the readings changed. Hidden layers began to reveal themselves. Compartments folded within compartments. Hull plating that was not weak steel but a new alloy the scanners could not identify. Heat signatures showed not one power core but three, each masked under complex interference patterns. Shield generators appeared where there had been none. The alien technicians leaned forward, their hands trembling. This is not possible," one whispered. "The ship is rewriting its own readings." The hall erupted in confusion. Data streams suddenly turned into encrypted codes pouring directly into the alien consoles. Their machines began to crash again, but this time the images displayed something worse: schematics of alien fleets, weaknesses in their formations, hidden bases revealed one by one. The Solari delegation panicked. "It is not just blocking our scans, it is scanning us in return." The Varick swarm leader clicked its mandibles nervously. "This ship, it knows us. It has been watching us." Fear spread through the hall like fire. Some delegates shouted for the scan to be shut down. Others demanded the ship be destroyed immediately. Weapons were even drawn, but the council guards quickly raised their staffs in warning, and then the human ship itself responded. The dark vessel moved. Slowly, deliberately, it rotated in orbit above the council world, its engines glowing brighter. Panels along its hull shifted, revealing faint outlines of weapons hidden beneath the plating. No shots were fired, but the message was clear. The humans were not helpless. They were waiting. In the chamber, Captain Vale finally rose to his feet. His voice was quiet, yet it carried across every corner of the hall. You laugh at what you do not understand. You think us weak because we do not boast. But every laugh you give, every test you demand, only shows us what you fear most, that we are not what you think we are. The hall fell silent again. No one dared laugh now. The council elder's eyes glowed faintly as he spoke, his voice heavy with warning. You have made your test. You have seen the truth. Humanity does not reveal its power until provoked. You have provoked it. But even his words could not undo the damage. The seed of fear had already been planted in every alien heart. They now realized the weak ship was not weak at all. It was a mask. A mask hiding something far more dangerous. And in the silence that followed, one unspoken question haunted them all. If a single human ship could do this, what were the others hiding? The hall had grown tense after the failed scans, but pride still pushed the alien empires forward. They could not admit weakness, not in front of rivals, not in front of humans. So they demanded more. Run the deepest scan possible, the Ida Kreth commander barked. Strip away every shadow, expose their fraud. Technicians hesitated. Their machines were still smoking from the last attempt. Yet, under pressure, they obeyed. Dozens of systems powered up, beams lancing through space, toward the human vessel. This time the results came slow, like the ship itself was resisting. At first, nothing. Then, layer by layer, the truth unfolded. Beneath the thin gray hull there were hidden plates, dense alloys unknown to galactic science, resistant to every type of energy weapon. Beneath the outdated engines, their pulsed reactors far more advanced than dreadnought cores masked by false signals. Entire weapon systems unfolded inside the ship's structure, disguised as ordinary plating until the scans dug deeper. Gasps echoed across the chamber. It cannot be real, whispered a Solari delegate, her glowing hands trembling. The readings say it carries enough firepower to level entire fleets. Impossible, another shouted. The size is too small. But the data kept coming, and each revelation was worse than the last. Buried deep in the ship's core was an AI, an artificial intelligence so advanced it made their own systems look primitive. It wasn't just protecting itself. It was scanning back, feeding on their technology, copying frequencies, breaking encryptions. In minutes, it knew more about their fleets than they did themselves. A Kreth officer collapsed into his seat, staring at the glowing screen. It has the files, he muttered. It has the weaknesses of our entire navy. The Varick swarm leader clattered its mandibles, its arrogance shattered. This is no warship. This is a predator. It hides in plain sight, wearing weakness as camouflage. Across the hall, the humans remained silent. Their calm faces were now terrifying in their stillness. They had known all along. The ship was not built to impress, it was built to deceive. Then came the final discovery. The scans revealed hidden compartments deep in the ship's lower decks. Not cargo, not weapons, records. Detailed star charts of alien space, files of battles humanity had never fought, knowledge of technologies they had never seen. It was as if the ship had already studied every species in the galaxy, every strength, every flaw, and stored it for later use. Delegates panicked. Some demanded the ship be destroyed at once. Others shouted that it was a trick. But the council elder only leaned on his staff, his eyes heavy with sorrow. Now you see, he said. Humans do not show their claws until the moment they strike. On the screen, the human ship rotated again, slowly, deliberately. For a moment, the panels of its hull shimmered, and then weapons emerged. Cannons. Unfolded from hidden compartments, missile bays lit with power, energy lances hummed with restrained fury. The ship that once looked like a fragile relic now bristled like a beast ready to hunt. The aliens fell silent. The laughter that had filled the chamber hours ago was gone, replaced now by fear, raw, choking fear. Finally, Captain Vale spoke again. His voice was calm, steady, almost quiet. You wanted to know what hides beneath the surface. Now you know. And this ship is only one. His words struck harder than any weapon. If a single ship carried this kind of hidden strength, then what of the rest of Earth's fleets? How many weak vessels drifted across the stars, carrying secrets behind, fragile masks? How many predators were waiting disguised as prey? The chamber shuddered with unease. The great empires, once laughing at humanity's weakness, now faced a terrifying truth. They had not mocked a child. They had mocked a hunter. And hunters did not forgive mockery. The alien empires had thought they were in control. They had mocked. They had scanned, they had laughed, yet now their pride had turned into fear. The strange human ship had revealed too much. It had shown them weaknesses they never wanted exposed. But still, many leaders clung to arrogance. They told themselves it was a trick, a bluff, some clever disguise. If pressed, they believed the humans would fall like prey. So the Kreth made the first move. From orbit above the Council world, one of their war cruisers locked weapons on the human ship. "End this charade," the Kreth commander growled. Energy built across its cannons, enough to melt a small moon. Delegates in the assembly gasped, some shouted in protest, but the Kreth commander only sneered. "Let us see what happens when your toy meets real fire." The blast never landed. In a blink, the human ship vanished from their targeting systems. One moment it was there, the next it was gone, sliding through space with impossible speed. The Kreth cruiser's cannons fired, into emptiness, striking only the void. Before the aliens could adjust, the human vessel reappeared, directly behind them. Panels shifted. Hidden weapons flared to life. With one silent strike, the human ship unleashed a burst of energy that pierced the cruiser's shields as though they did not exist. A moment later, the mighty Kreth vessel broke apart in silence, its burning remains scattering across the stars. The assembly hall erupted in chaos. Delegates screamed. Some demanded immediate surrender. Others shouted for combined fleets to open fire. But on the screens above them, the human ship moved again. Fast, precise, untouchable. It darted between warships, scanning them, disabling them, tearing through defenses without effort. And still, it did not kill everyone. Instead, the ship carefully targeted engines, weapons, command centers, leaving vessels crippled but intact. It was not slaughter. It was a message. Humanity was showing restraint, but restraint filled with menace. The aliens understood. If humans had wanted them destroyed, they would already be gone. In the chamber, Captain Vale spoke once more, his voice steady. "You wished to see the truth. Now you see it. You believed we were weak. You believed our ships were relics. But weakness is the mask we wear because strength needs no display until the moment it is required." The council elder closed his glowing eyes. He had warned them long ago, and now his warning was playing out before their eyes. "You mocked the hunters," he said softly. "And now you stand in their jaws." Fear spread beyond the hall. Across the galaxy, alien fleets received the news. A single human vessel had dismantled the pride of the Kreth. Panic began to rise. If one ship could do this, how many others hid among the stars? How many weak human vessels were masks for predators in waiting? The Solari delegation tried to regain their pride. "We must unite," they shouted. "We must crush them before they spread." But even as they spoke, reports arrived of other human ships appearing at the edges of Solari space. Small, unremarkable, fragile-looking vessels, yet none dared to approach them now. For the first time in centuries, the great empires of the galaxy felt powerless. Their fleets had always been their pride, their guarantee of dominance. But humanity had just proven that pride was worthless against cunning, patience, and hidden strength. Captain Vale gave his final words before leaving the chamber. "We asked for peace. We asked only to be left alone. You laughed at us. You tried to expose us. Now you know what you face if you force our hand. Remember this moment the next time you think humanity is weak." Then the human ship rose from orbit and disappeared. Into the dark, the galaxy trembled. The laughter that once mocked Earth had turned into silence. Silence heavy with fear. Silence that would echo through every council hall, every war room, every colony for generations. For humanity had struck back. And this was only the beginning. Word of the battle spread faster than light. Across the galaxy, news carriers and encrypted channels whispered the same story. The humans had unleashed a ship unlike anything ever seen. A vessel that looked weak on the outside but carried strength, that shattered fleets. A single war cruiser of the Kreth destroyed in one strike. Dozens more ships disabled in minutes. And then, silence. The human ship had vanished into the void, leaving only wreckage and fear behind. For centuries, the galaxy had laughed at Earth. Now, no one laughed. On Kreth homeworlds, riots broke out as citizens demanded answers. Their leaders had promised victory over primitive Earth, yet now their great fleet had been humiliated by one ship. Solari commanders held emergency meetings, but even their golden light seemed dim as they admitted the truth. They had underestimated humanity. The Varric swarm, who believed numbers alone made them unstoppable, pulled back their scouts from human borders, muttering that no swarm wished to fight predators they could not count. In every corner of the galaxy, the same question echoed. If one ship could do this, how many more were out there? The council chamber remained heavy with shame. The elder who had warned them long ago stood once more, his stone-like face filled with sorrow. "I told you," he said, his voice echoing through the hall. "Humanity hides its claws until it is too late. You have seen what happens when they are provoked. This is your doing. You mocked the hunters. Now the galaxy trembles." Many leaders argued, desperate to save face. "We must unite against them," the Kreth demanded, though their voices shook. "Destroy Earth before they grow stronger," the Varric hissed, but no one listened. Deep down, they all knew the truth. If one ship could dismantle fleets, attacking, Earth might doom them all. Meanwhile, in hidden bases across human space, new ships stirred. They were not displayed in parades, they were not shown in council halls. They remained cloaked in shadows, waiting. Each carried secrets as terrifying as the first. Hidden weapons, impenetrable defenses, advanced intelligence systems. The message was clear. The ship that struck back was not unique. It was a warning. On human colonies, the people finally lifted their heads with pride. For generations, they had lived under the shadow of mockery, dismissed as fragile newcomers. Now, stories of the battle reached every ear. Children whispered about the ghost ship that defeated empires. Workers carved the tale into metal walls. Soldiers swore oaths under the name of Captain Vale. The galaxy had tried to laugh at Earth, but Earth had answered in fire. Yet even among humans, there was unease. Captain Vale knew the truth of what had been revealed. The others now feared humanity, yes, but fear was a dangerous thing. Fear led to desperate alliances, hidden plots, and wars of survival. The galaxy would never treat humanity the same again. He stood on the bridge of the ship as it drifted in silence, stars reflecting on its dark hull. His crew waited, their faces a mixture of pride and dread. "They will never forget this day," Vale said softly, "but neither must we. Today we proved we are not prey. Tomorrow we must prove we are more than predators." In the distance, alien fleets reorganized, hesitant, careful. Every scan, every patrol now avoided human space. No empire dared provoke them again, but whispers grew in the shadows. Plans were forming, fearful strategies of survival. The galaxy was not united in laughter anymore. It was united in terror, and so the balance of power shifted. Where once Earth was ignored, now it was watched. Where once humanity was mocked, now it was feared. Across the stars, one truth settled in the hearts of every species. The galaxy would never be the same, for the humans had struck back. And the galaxy, shattered by fear, would spend generations wondering, what other nightmares did Earth still keep hidden behind its mask of weakness?